What is up, guys? My name's the Simeon. My name is Yin. I play simulation games. Did you see what I did there? Yep, just a little bit of a new intro whenever I am talking about something other than The Sims. As you guys can tell, today we are going to be talking about not only Paralives and The Sims, but also Life by You. Now, there's a couple things that I do want to get into, but we are going to start off first with The Sims. With that being said, we are going to dive deep into the latest Horse Ranch expansion pack, where there has been many issues happening and experiencing ever since the release. Now, many people have been experiencing their own set of problems, but in just a second we will be getting into that. Meanwhile, The Sims has done a Horse Ranch giveaway despite all the bugs and glitches that this pack is actually causing. Let me know if you've entered or if you've experienced any of these so far. Now, we went ahead and dived deep into the latest episode, talking about the VFX issues that have been going on. Many people also have been experiencing glitches when it came down to spa day, as well as some saves over on the gallery. Many people are also experiencing saves within the game itself. We are going to get into a couple of Simmers tweets and concerns, and let me know if you guys have opinions on this. Someone by the name of KP Games said the Sims 4 Horse Ranch would run so bad on my computer, I'm getting around 25 frames per second on a brand new save. I've turned off story progression and deleted NPC, and it's still laggy. Updated drivers and Windows, no change. Any tips? Someone else by the name of Caitlin said, I've been working on my Sims 4 Horse Ranch masterpiece of a build since Friday, and the work I spent on this morning didn't save, so that's fine. I'll just throw myself into the torrents. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I've also been having this really big issue when it came down to the Horse Ranch expansion pack. My game has been super laggy, and if you guys aren't over on my Twitch, which I highly recommend because we have a blast over there every Tuesdays and Thursdays, I have actually been experiencing serious lag. I want to know if anybody else has been experiencing this. Now, with all the issues going on with the Sims 4 Horse Ranch, and the constant promotions that they're still doing for the game, I just don't understand why somebody is not being transparent or having more clarity regarding the situation. Now, so far, the Sims team has not said anything, and of course, the Sims Direct has unfortunately said anything either. It's just like, what is going on? Speaking of what's going on with simulation games, let's talk about Life by You. For those who have been living under a rock, Life by You is designed to be one of the most moddable and open life simulation and games, overall be in total control of what's going on within this world. It's supposed to be very detailed, and the reason this was so big was because one of the ex-producers, Rod Humble, that worked for The Sims, actually had worked on this project. I do want to quickly read this statement, and this is all thanks to Sematically, who took to Twitter to announce this article. But again, I do want to go ahead and read it for you guys, and it's about Rod Humble and about Life by You, and this is back in 2020. Before I get into any more information, it did go on to say, the other thing we're trying to do from a gameplay perspective is make a very, very deep game. In fact, maybe the deepest game I've ever worked on, because I really wanted to add a large amount of gameplay to the subject and the genre I'm approaching. I think it's due. My hope is that people will play with this more, but we're aiming to make the deepest, most gameplay rich entry that's ever been made within the space we're aiming at. That way we're doing that is when you drill down, there are new gameplay mechanics that you can discover depending on which direction you push, and discovering an entire set of gameplay. I think what is crazy about this whole thing is that he did mention that he talked to the Max's co-founder and even asked Will Wright, who is the co-founder and Sims creator, and asked, I was taking over his baby, so I wanted to go and kiss the ring. And he's a great guy, but I asked him what I thought was a smart question, which was, looking back, what's one thing you could take away from The Sims? What's something you regret putting in that wasn't needed, or the game would be more efficient? And he looked at me like all bulldogs do, with those sort of pity look, and said, I wouldn't take anything out. I would add more. More is more. The idea of taking away gameplay didn't even occur to him. Now, with the set of Life by You announcing a couple of months ago, they have now released more footage, and on the Create a Sim, they received tremendous backlash, unfortunately, due to the quality of the game. Many people had concerns regarding the graphics and that they were not up to par, considering the real engine that they were using, as well as it being just 2023 and the graphics, despite all of the things that you could do within the game, such as free will, money, shopping, grocery store, skating, biking, and overall just having that freedom of a simulation game, it unfortunately did not meet up to par when it came down to graphics. A lot of people stated that it looked very bulky, and that again, it just wasn't where it was supposed to be. Well, after taking all that news into consideration, on March 5th, 2024 is now the new release date for Life by You. I will say I love Rod Humbleness when it comes down to responding back to the community in which they talked about before releasing the gameplay. They said that they were going to be doing a lot of tuning, a lot of UI overhaul, and of course, the biggest concern was fixing the graphics. This is a complete 360 from how the sim gurus actually tweeted and talk about the problems that we are facing as sim players who the franchise is kind of quote unquote going downhill to a lot of simmers. Life by You has actually been very responsive to a lot of the people that have questions going on regarding the game, and it's staying very up to date. There's a lot of Q&As that happen very frequently, and they are more than welcome to being open about people and their feedback and what to expect when it comes down to a game. Now, I love this about Life by You, and I will say, although the graphics to me were not up to par at all, especially considering the engine that they said that they were using, as well as just overall the engine that they were using. I mean, it is 2023 and there should be no reason the graphics look the way it did. Again, I'm still very excited to see what is to come out of Life by You, considering that they are taking, the players into consideration and not just going based off a money-hungry perspective. Speaking of a money-hungry perspective, this is complete controversy when it comes down to Paralives. If you guys aren't familiar with Paralives is another upcoming life simulation game that actually took over 2019 upon release. Now, this game includes building, creating, living, and they call themselves Parafolks. What is this created by? Paralives is created by a small independent company and the developer Alex Macy, who actually took to Twitter to announce the whole thing about it coming out. Now, people have had their speculations, especially ever since the release of it back in 2019, about when this game was supposedly supposed to come out. Now, I even had my own set of theories, but again, I would love to hear yours down below in the comments. But as you do a little bit more research, they do have an open development progress over on their website. As you guys can see, from 2019 to 2023, they have shown their complete development from when they first started. I actually remember June 30th when they first released some of these walls, and people were very excited. Once they released Parafolks, people started getting even more hyped. 2021 came around, they started showing the building and the town activities you could do, and then 2022 came around and started slowly showing create a Parafolk, because that's what they're going to be called. And then now we're in 2023 and people are wondering what is going on. Now, we do know that Alex Macy has making over 37,000 ever since the Paralives team has taken to Patreon to announce saying why we need your support. Many people feel like this is kind of a scam, while other people feel like it takes years to build a working game. So I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on this, and again, has been very quiet in the release of when it is expected to come. It's been saying coming soon since 2019, and of course, I do understand that games do take a while when it comes down to putting it out there and making sure the game is working. I mean, look at Life by You, for example, and why they had to hold back the early release content date. Now, again, I would love to know your opinions on this, and do you guys think that Paralives is taking advantage of its community, knowing that simulation life games are really big right now and everyone's expecting what's the new life simulation going to be? What's it going to be? What's it going to be? To me, I feel like they waited it out a little too long, and they should have announced this a little bit later on, like 2022, when they had more of the graphics. Now, with that being said, I do want to talk about The Sims Direct, and again, between Life by You and just Paralives being on hold and not saying a word and basically taking everything into the back burner and just watching all the life simulation games go by and taking notes, which is what I personally feel like they're doing, it's going to be a complete 360 from how the sim gurus have been handling lately the criticism in which they are facing. Even Sim Guru Nova, for example, said no one forced us to be gurus, it's opt-in. I can't speak for others, but personally I chose to be one of the admirations I had for other gurus before joining the team. How fun it can be to interact with y'all. Now, with all that being said, and with Paralives with no release date and anything set to do other than the fact that we just just have some footage of what's going on in the game, and Life by You actually going in and doing the Q&As with everyone, as well as making a statement publicly with face-to-face cam stating how and what it's going to be like for the new release date and what is to be expected to change. And the Sims, you know, as usual, doing what they do best, no transparency. With that all being said, I would love to know your opinions about all three games, and if you guys have other life simulation games that you're interested in me covering too, please feel free to do so. This is my introduction and expanding back into other simulation games that I want to hear more of. I want to see more of. Again, I do love The Sims. It'll always have my heart, but I do want to start expanding on other life simulation games as well, and I just don't want my content to get a little too repetitive. With that being said, I would love to know your thoughts and opinions about this, and again, I will see you guys all in the next video. Bye!